Colin Receveur again. I'm glad that you've joined me back here for another Throwback Thursday edition of the Patient Attraction Podcast. Now, earlier this year, I told you that standing out, differentiating yourself, leading the pack is critical to reaching new patients. Now, nothing's changed since then, and perhaps this is why this is even more important now as people continue to rely more and more on the internet to make decisions. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy today's episode. Colin Receveur here. And today's podcast, I want to keep expounding on something that I've been talking about in previous podcasts and tell you about how to stand above the crowd and differentiate yourself like this guy right here. Stay tuned. To stand above the rest, there's a few things that you can look at immediately with the targeting of your patients. Things like age demographics. How old are they? Demographics and area. What area of your town are they located in? How much money do they make? And of course, the big one, what kind of problems can you solve for them? What kind of problems do they have? But the biggest part about these different demographics, you really have to consider, why does a patient want to come to you? What is your differentiation factor? There's a few things that we see in every city that we look at, and we call it the wee factor. We're the best cosmetic dentist in town, or we're a painless dentist, or we're a family dentist, or we're the only one to do ... We're the family dentist, or we're your hometown dentist. And the problem with all these wee-wees, as I call them, we this and we that, is that you assume that your prospective patient knows why they should choose you over anybody else. They don't make themselves the obvious choice. And essentially, they're camouflaging themselves amongst all the dentists in their town by using that me too mentality. And when your patient goes to look, you don't stand out. They don't choose you. You're part of that herd. The herd mentality. And, you're losing out on your potential pool of patients, if you're not differentiating yourself somehow. So how can you stand out? What can you do to get out of the herd and break free? There's a number of things. You can write a book or have somebody like us ghost write a book for you. There's nothing more powerful than walking into a consult and giving the consultant and saying, look, hey, if you want to hear about your options, I wrote the book on this. I wrote the book on sedation or dental implants or headaches and migraines, and laying it down in front of them and saying, hey, take this away. You're going to hit on not only building your expertise, but you're also playing on Cialdini's principles of reciprocity, who, look back on some previous podcasts to see me talk in depth about that. Other ways to become an expert is put out a lot of great information. Don't tell people about all the services you provide. Tell them why those services matter to them, and use compelling headlines to capture their attention. There's nothing worse than a website that has great content, but the headlines are boring. Headaches for those with headaches. People aren't going to read past your headlines. And if they do, make sure you have sub-headlines in your content. Or better yet, hey, how about video? Let them watch a video of you or your staff, or even better, the social proof of your patients talking about how great you are. There's nothing that can build your expertise faster than somebody else saying something great about you. We can all talk about how great we are, but when you can have somebody else say it about you, now you're really building your authority. So use those 3 quick examples to build your expertise in your market area, in your niche, and start attracting the patients you want today.